Poppin' Peeps, Team Money here for Wednesday's edition of Body Bags. Here to do a review. Whoa, I'm sitting kind of far away from the camera here. That's better. Alright, my fat ass is fucking here. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's Wednesday. And so the review I chose to do for this week is a movie by the name of Creeper. This is an underground or indie type film directed by Matthew Gunno. From 2016 it was released. And it's basically about, well, I'll read you the synopsis. It says, Heather and her friends have some devilish fun on the social website ConnectMeNet. However, their amusement has come at the expense of a lonely and medicated half-wit known as Jerry Tobin. After goading him into humiliating himself on camera in various cruel acts of depravity, they post the clips online for the world to see in a video titled Revenge on a Creeper. This ruins Jerry's meager life and he disappears without a trace. Fast forward a year and the tables have now turned when Jerry re-emerges off the antipsychotic medication that clouded his thoughts and kept his demons at bay. Now the girls are forced into a nightmarish fight for their lives. So that is exactly what this film is about. Two girls, I don't need to rehash, I guess, the synopsis, but they fuck with this guy and then they decide to kill him. They attempt to murder him, they think he's dead, and then he comes back a year later. And I don't know if he was in jail or whatever, but he's off his antipsychotic medication, and kidnaps them and plays a game of cat and mouse. Now, right off the bat, you see this movie. It starts out with a girl in a cage getting dragged by this chain in the water, which is pretty brutal. So, I mean, it captures your attention right away, and then it flashes back, and then, it's awesome. Like, so there's pluses and minuses to this film, of course, like many. It's an indie film, so it's low budget. There are a lot of brutal kills. For me, some of them were really good, and some of them were kind of like, I don't want to say a cop-out, but like there's a lot of explosion scenes, and they kind of just, like, basically, like, say a gun blast or a grenade goes off, and it's just like blood splatter on the screen, and that's it. So it kind of like hashes out the intense details or cancels out the intense details, and all you see is just like splatter. So it's kind of like, you have to see the movie to know what I'm talking about there. But I mean, all in all, the effects are pretty good. I guess I'll talk about, so what I liked about the film. I thought the guy who played Jerry Tobin was great. He played an awesome psycho. He doesn't really have any lines, especially the second half of the film when when he reemerges as the psychopath. He's just kind of like a stern, military, like, fucking brutal killer, and he's just basically out to murder anyone who gets in his path as he's trying to kidnap and torture these women, or as he continues to chase them. But I really like the setting, like the second half of the film, basically where he takes them when he kidnaps them is like kind of like a in the woods, a wildernessy type setting. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, basically the cat and mouse game, and it kind of has like slasher aspects. There's scenes where he's like marching through the woods with a machete, just almost reminded me of like Jason or something like that. But if you like, I don't want to say stock and slash cat and mouse type, I mean, films, basically, I would recommend this. It is kind of like Girl House in a sense that it's like two girls. It reminded me of Girl House because it's like the girls on the website picking on the half-retarded or dumb guy or whatever, and then posting it for the world to see. One thing that I didn't like about the film, I thought was kind of lame, is that, like, in the midst of being hunted down and tortured by this psychopath, the girls are, like, concerned. There's one scene where they're like, that he's videotaping this for the world to see, and it's like, you could tell that they're, like, super upset, and it's like, really? It's like, if you're being tortured and stalked, kidnapped, harassed, you got shit dumped all over you, humiliated, would you really care if this was being aired on the internet for the world to see? Like, really? I mean, that kind of pissed me off. That was kind of lame, if you ask me. What else didn't I like about the film? I thought the dialogue was okay. I thought the acting was good in the sense that, like, these girls were definitely put through a lot of torturous, strenuous scenes for sure in the wilderness. I mean, they definitely, like, are being hung by ropes. And the end scene's pretty awesome. I don't want to say what happens, but there's definitely some brutality going on for sure. But the dialogue was kind of cheesy. Like, I didn't like the whole thing that the girls were so pretentious and, like, you know, concerned about, the world, what the world thinks of them, and, like, the whole online thing was kind of annoying. Like, I understand the initial concept, and also it's kind of far-fetched, but it's cool. It's a movie. It's like, okay, so these girls want to fuck with this guy, but they want to kill him? Like, okay. And then I guess in that sense it's cool that, like, it's, like, kind of reverse. It's like they, you know, when he's on his medication, he's real dopey and weak, and they take advantage of him and try and kill him. And then the other half is, like, he comes back and fucking, you know, seeks his revenge. There's also a really cool scene at the end of the movie, without giving away too much, where basically, like, the police and military comes down, and I guess maybe because it's online. That's one thing I was wondering. I was like, okay, how is this going on for so long, without, you know, the police or anybody knowing if this is broadcasted live? Like, I mean, they should be able to detect that. So I was wondering how he was able to get away with that for so long. But then, sure enough, at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, you get the military that comes in, and there's some awesome, brutal scenes with him just going fucking gung-ho on a murderous rampage, just destroying these military dudes. That was fun. Again, some of the kills were cool. Others I thought were kind of a cop-out with the whole, like, splatter thing. I don't know really what I mean by that. I just thought it wasn't like, for example, I had watched, right before I watched this movie, I watched a movie called Judy. And you're not going to get the same quality special effects on every film, obviously. But, like, watching the details of the special effects in that movie compared to this, it was just, like, night and day. Or something like Sella Turcica or something like that. Like, I've been spoiled lately because I've been watching a lot of, like, really good special effects. So then when you see something like this, which wasn't all that bad, to be honest. It wasn't, like, I've seen a lot worse, like CGI and shit. CGI-infested shit. But I just thought, you know, the explosions could have been a little more detailed and whatnot. But a minor gripe, really. So, yeah, all things considered, I would recommend this movie if you like kind of like cat and mouse / the whole story of the guy who's getting picked on and coming back for revenge. It definitely has like a military type twist, or not twist, but like he looks like he's a straight like a psycho vet or something like that. He's got that image. You can see him like on the back. Well, it doesn't really show you, but on the back there on the top right, you see him like as Jerry basically. But then at the end, he like shaves his head, or when he comes back for revenge, he's like all camoed out, shaved head, just like a fucking brute. You can tell he's stacked and like just a badass dude. And also, I guess one thing on the subject, now that I'm thinking about it, like, there were moments where, like, the girls had him pinned, and, like, they could have easily killed him. Like, there were a couple things that happened where they have him, like, basically pinned, and, like, they could totally fucking just have killed him, and instead they run away, or they just make stupid decisions, I'd say. And, like, really, like, if it were in real life, like, that kind of thing, and you're like, really? Come on, like, fucking finish him off. Don't let him go. Like, what are you fucking thinking? And, like, that happened several times in the movie, and that kind of pissed me off, to be honest. And so, yeah, I mean, other than the dialogue not being the best, the acting being a little hokey, the special effects not being the greatest, and then what I just mentioned, and I forget what it was. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, a good, entertaining film. Definitely a good one-time watch, I'd say. For sure. So yeah, this was directed, like I said, by Matthew Gunnow. It's released by Unearthed Films. You can pick it up, I think, for $15 on Amazon if you're interested. I'm not sure if it's on like Netflix or whatnot, but yeah. And the extras on this disc include director's commentary, cutscene outtakes, FX tests, trailer, Tara chilling on set stills, one sheets, convention flyers. But all things considered, the actresses in this movie did have to go through a lot. There's one scene where he just like dumps this bucket full of like feces all over the chick, and it's just like, oh man, fuck. And that scene in the cage too was really brutal. So I would recommend it. I liked it, and I'm not really one for, well, I shouldn't say that. I like indie films, so yeah. Let's see. Looks like it was written, directed, produced by Matthew Gunnow. Maybe not written, but it stars Daryl Baldwin, Monica Chambers, Roja Moro, Amber Sim, Brittany Cardelli. So I'm assuming Darren Baldwin. Oh no, yeah, maybe he's the Jerry Tobin, but whatever. Yeah, so Unearthed Films. This is from 2015, actually. although I think it was just released very recently. So that's my review for Creeper. Check it out. All right, guys, have a good day. Catch you next Wednesday. Peace.